Eberechi Eze has completed his Arsenal medical and is set to be announced as an Arsenal player. Fulham and Arsenal have also restarted talks for a move for Reiss Nelson, and could target Rodrygo be heading to Anfield if Liverpool do not sign Isak? Let's find out on the RASenal Transfer Centre. Yes, people, I'm your host Dini, and welcome back to RASenal TV. I hope you are all blessed and well today. It is a good day, still feeling good after that Eze news broke in the week that we will be signing him. And as I said, he has completed his medical. But before we get into that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all of that. If you are new here, smash that subscribe button. Let's get this algorithm thing going. Let's get this channel up there, because I'm going to be as consistent as I can be, and I feel like I have been very consistent throughout the summer. So you know what, I'm going to big up myself there. But anyway, Eze has completed his Arsenal medical, and that was completed this morning. That was confirmed by Ben Jacobs only a couple of hours ago. Now, it was a thing of, there were rumors now, could this be done before 12 p.m. to get him in the squad for tomorrow for Leeds United? Fabrizio Romano tweeted that, but it was also said that it wasn't necessarily the plan to get him, to rush him for Leeds. I don't think that's necessarily a situation where you do need to rush him for Leeds. Let him just do his medical, sign, get the media thing done, and this, that, and the other. Maybe potentially present him. But the thing is, if you're going to present him at the Emirates tomorrow, potentially, because that is a rumor, but if you're going to do that, then surely you'd have to announce him beforehand. Anyway, so we'll see about that. But as I said, ideally, his first start, or he'll at least be on the bench against Liverpool. He's going to have to do some training and get acclimatized to the squad, everything else, and this, that, and the other. It's a big boy signing. Chain got snatched, everything, all of that, this, that, and the other. We are happy. Big up the Arsenal for that, absolutely. And you know what? Still feeling good about it. People are saying, is this a needle mover? Does this change the prospects of Arsenal's title and actually puts us favourites? Some people are putting us favourites now for the title, or giving us more of a chance, because there was a point where I'm just like, before we even signed Eze, with the squad that we had at the moment, the fact that we hadn't signed Eze at the time, or weren't going to, or even the left winger situation, which I'm going to get onto later as well. The fact that those two positions were looking very, very bleak, as there's only 9 days left of the transfer window. I'm thinking we are finishing third as of right now. Now that we signed Eze, I'm not going to say nothing yet. I'm going to wait, because that left wing option is very important. It's very, very important. And I'm going to a full final prediction once the transfer window was closed, whether we have or have not signed a left winger. But hopefully we have. And as I said, we'll get into who that left winger could be later on in the show. But if you are happy with Eberechi Eze for signing Arsenal, then make sure you smash the subscribe button. Now, moving on, Reiss Nelson to Fulham is back on. This was reported today by the Transfer News Live on Twitter as well, and it said that the deal is necessarily centered around a loan plus an obligation to buy next summer in 2026. Now, this is going to be the next thing that we're going to be judging Andrea Berta on, is how do you get the outgoings going? Do you know what I'm saying? Can you get Reiss Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Jakub Kiwior? Is Trossard still potentially maybe going to go if he could find a suitor? But it does seem with his pay rise that he will be staying at Arsenal. But we know that there are players that still need to leave. We're going to talk about Jakub Kiwior later on in the show as well. But this is the next thing we're going to judge you on, because you've done well on the retention side, Skelly, Gabriel and Wanyeri. But now it's a thing of outgoing. So the fact that this deal is back on, ideally we would like a permanent deal. How much money we would get for a permanent deal now? Fulham do want the player. They do like the player. They did have a good time with Reiss Nelson until he was injured, unfortunately. Obviously Smith Rowe is there as well. So there's that connection. There's still an Arsenal connection there as well. But ideally we would want a permanent fee. So if it's an obligation to buy next summer, what would that fee be? Ideally, I think it should be within the region of 18 to 25 million. It should be within that region, depending on the season he has. So maybe we can put some add-ons in there. I don't know, or this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Or a sell-on clause could be good as well. A sell-on clause could be good, or a sell-on percentage, whatever it is, in this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? That's Reiss Nelson. Talks are back on for a potential move back to Fulham on loan with an obligation to buy next summer. Also, for the left wing, Ademola Lookman has still been looked at, and according to Rudy Galletti, Ademola Lookman and Arsenal have had fresh talks over a move. How true this is, well, we'll see, because you know what? Let's just link Rodrygo to this right now, because the talk is apparently that if Liverpool don't sign Isak, they may go in hard for Rodrygo. Pause. So, what do you do then if Liverpool do go in for Rodrygo? Because we know they have the money. We know they have the money because they're going to bid again. They're going to bid again one more time for Alexander Isak. Also, that game on Monday, Newcastle versus Liverpool at St. James. I'm looking forward to Chelsea versus West Ham tonight. I'm looking forward to all the football on the weekend. It's going to be a brilliant weekend. But that game on Monday, Newcastle versus Liverpool, whoo, fireworks. But yeah, if Liverpool bid again and don't sign Isak, they can easily go in with a lot more money than Arsenal can for Rodrygo right now and get that deal done. Should we be worried about that? Do Arsenal need to get a move on? Because if we can strike a loan deal, because that's where, as of right now, that's the only place where Arsenal can do a deal for Rodrygo, is if we strike a loan, potentially with an obligation option to buy for next summer, because we haven't sold enough players yet. This is why I'm making sure that I'm judging Berta. We need to judge Berta on this going into the rest of the transfer window, into the last 9 days of the transfer window. How do you get your outgoings? Because if you can raise money as well, it makes getting Rodrygo in the door easier, but you need to start moving those players out quicker. One of those players that could be moving out is Jakub Kiwior, because again, today, fresh links again with Porto. Now, because Kiwior, who wasn't actually included in the squad against Man United on Sunday, is feeling disillusioned, and he's potentially now starting to accelerate or actively really start to look for a move elsewhere out of Arsenal, because he feels like he deserves more game time. Absolutely. And with some players that have come in, he just feel hard done by, because he did do very, very well. And I like Jakub Kiwior as a player. Since even when he came in the last few months, as we know, he was brilliant and this, that, and the other. He's been a good squad player, to be fair. But obviously, needs must. And maybe Jakub Kiwior is not seen as needs must, sadly. So, but we will see. We'll see. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of games that we're going to need to play this season anyway. So even if he didn't get sold, we know that he'd be utilized. I believe that he would be utilized as well, and he will still have a strong role to play. But it is a World Cup year, and it applies to everyone that they want to be playing for their national teams. And if you're not playing week in, week out for your club, you won't get selected for the World Cup. So it's all important to Jakub Kiwior. So we will see what happens there. But people, that is it for the RASenal Transfer Center. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Let me know what you think in the comments below of all the transfer news that I brought to you today. Do you think Arsenal will present Eze tomorrow ahead of that Leeds game at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow? Or do you think they've got some nice announcement style video cooking up somewhere maybe? Apparently some of the media team was outside of the Emirates today. Apparently they've done some things at London Colney. Apparently Saka was happy to see him this morning and this, that, and the other. Apparently, I don't know, but you let me know what you think in the comments below of everything I said in the show. I've been your host, Dini. Make sure you subscribe to RASenal TV. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment down below. Love and guidance, people. Peace.